The gaslight, the disrespect. You realize I could go back and read this, right? We got the screenshots right here.
Caught you in 20K HDR 1200 FPS Super Nintendo iOS 49 Blu-ray Ultraviolet Radiation 1080p PlayStation 5.
Hello, friends. Trace amounts of science. Promise swearsies. It's just a fact. Today we're getting into some r/NiceGuys because it's been a little while since we've been here, and it always feels so good. Well, actually, no, it kind of is awkward and horrible and makes me want to apologize on behalf of my gender, but I still don't do that. But sometimes you do get to sneak a sick burn in there or something like that. Gubbins, you got any sick burns for us today?
You want burn? Gubbins light entire brain on fire, roast your thoughts until they smell like crispy failure. You like a wet napkin trying to hold up a skyscraper, flimsy, sad, and soaked in your own tears. Gubbins.
Wow. Are you talking about me, or are you talking about the nice guy?
Yes.
Emotional damage.
Cool. Awesome. Great. Love having this little guy around. We'll continue on to r/NiceGuys. Thanks so much for being here today. Let's rock and roll.
This nice guy said, I'm trying to figure out if I'm gonna waste my time waiting on you.
Yeah, your time's so valuable, huh? Got places to be, like on a dating app or whatever it is.
Hey, I was wondering if you wanted to get some dinner. We just finished, but decided not to do anything else. I could bring some food over, maybe watch a movie.
Is that getting dinner, or are you just bringing me your leftovers? Opie says, I'm good as of now, playing with my friends online.
And he said, nah, never mind. Mike has invented us to a carnival event at a mall nearby. Would you want to do that? Never mind.
Opie says, nice. Hopefully y'all had fun. They invented a whole carnival and you didn't even show up, Opie. Sad.
We shot so many different things.
Opie says, yeah, I'm glad y'all had fun.
He said, M1 Garand, lever action rifle, 12 and 20 gauge, AR, pistol. Thanks. I'm glad you did it too. Sucks you got duty tomorrow though. Also, I'm not trying to seem like I'm annoying you or anything, but somebody said that you didn't have a lot of friends and was trying to do more things, but I try to go and do things and I'll invite you most of the time, and the way they make it seem like we would be a great couple and things, like, yeah, I understand, but seems like some people don't understand what you're really going through.
This is like 15 different angles at once. What the fuck are you doing? Complete just word soup salad. I don't know what to do with this.
I understand nothing.
Bin is my best answer. I don't want to look at it anymore. You think you understand what I'm going through? You don't!
He says, yeah, I kind of think the same thing. It would, but I don't even know if you're even going to be interested in due time, and I don't want to ruin anything, but the way they seem to rush everything, nowadays, everyone is trying to rush, but I'm that type that takes their time.
THERE. Their time. It's pain on so many levels. First one out the gate, and it's pain on so many levels.
So much pain! So much pain!
It's okay, it's fine.
He says, like, honestly, if we did end up together, then I think it would go very well, but I'm not trying to make something happen between, but I definitely feel a connection.
Just ask. Why are you doing this little fucking hokey pokey dance? Put both your feet in and ask, or don't. I mean, essentially you did already, but like in the weakest way possible.
But if you don't think that it would in the future, then it's cool. I don't mind just staying friends, but seriously though, I think we're pretty damn compatible. But I'm not perfect. I got shit I need to work on.
Okay, we'll do that first and come back. Opie says it's cool if you want to be friends, but if you don't stop asking to be in a relationship, then I don't feel comfortable even being friends. So please stop. See? Look at Gee, this is not the first time, huh? We've taken this ride a couple times before, it seems. I love it. OP's had enough of his shit. I didn't think this needed to be said after I told you that I'm not looking for a relationship, but if I have to repeat myself, then I will. And he says, that's not what I mean. I wasn't even asking you out. He truly was. I was talking about maybe in the future, when you're ready. Opie says, just stop. Yeah, well advised, honestly. At least if you care about the relationship, which he definitely doesn't. He's just like, let me get at that choncha.
You thirsty boy? Yeah, you're a thirsty boy.
He says, damn, my bad. TBH, I never even asked to be in a relationship with you, but okay, whatever.
Yeah, you'd never ask someone that directly. You drop little hints, make up people, and say, like, these people thought we'd be good in a relationship, and I totally agree with them. But I didn't ask you out.
Last night was the first time I told you how I felt ever. And all I said was, when it comes time that you feel like you're interested in a relationship, I'm not talking about right now. I'm just trying to see if I'm somebody that you would want to be with when it comes that time. This is the worst written thing ever. Room temperature IQ. Clearly you just showed I'm probably not someone you would be interested in, so that's all I was trying to figure out, because that night when we were at the strip club, it made me feel like maybe there was something there. But clearly since then, I guess you just wanted to have fun. I don't know why you lied to me, because I never told you I was looking for a relationship with you until last night. Plus, I literally said when it comes time for when you're interested in one, like, yeah, I'm down to be friends, but I can't trust you if you're gonna straight up lie to me like that. You're tripping.
Wrong your, of course. Yes, indeed. One of you is tripping, but it's not her. The gaslight, the disrespect. You realize I could go back and read this, right? We got the screenshots right here.
Caught you in 20K HDR 1200 FPS Super Nintendo iOS 49 Blu-ray Ultraviolet Radiation 1080p PlayStation 5.
Opie says, what the fuck are you on about? Look, if you don't want to be friends, just say so. I just don't want to talk about relationship stuff anymore. Also, that night that you felt like we had a connection, I was drinking, and I don't even remember most of that night. Stop basing my personality and preferences on a night that you and blank took advantage of.
Damn, took advantage of? That's quite an accusation to levy.
I hate this guy more and more every second.
He says, I didn't take advantage of you. Literally, I did not know you, and I thought you wanted it because the stripper asked you first if you wanted to go back there with me. And you said yes, and I agreed.
There's a reason that people say you can't consent when you're drunk, even if the drunk person says yes. Yeah, you gotta be on your toes in these days and times, let me tell you that. Used to be what happened at the club stayed at the club, but it ain't like that no more. Anyway, Nice Guy brushes it off completely and says, it's whatever. Yes, I'm sorry that I felt you up in the back room of that club. Actually, I'm not sorry. It's whatever. Jesus.
I thought you genuinely had a good time. I could care less how I feel.
Opie says, if I can remember it, I'll let you know, but that is the definition of taking advantage of a drunk person.
Nice Guy says, I literally drunk too, and we both agreed, like, I don't know why you seem upset, because the next day we talked about it, and you didn't seem upset.
And she said, because I understand mistakes can happen when you drink, and I didn't remember that night anyway. Yeah, it could have been like a little fun thing that happened, and then you let it go. But no, you've decided to hold on to it, to make it into something. And you have. You've made it into something really weird. This is going to end in an unfortunate fashion, isn't it?
He says, but honestly, I see what you're saying about the relationship thing, but I never told you how I felt. I was just seeing if I would be somebody you're interested in when it comes time for you to look for one, but I get you're not really looking for one at all, even though you're already kind of in one, I guess.
What the fuck are you talking about? OP says, don't listen to her. I'm not in a relationship. I'm not trying to be in a relationship. I don't plan on it anytime soon. He says,
I did not expect to do anything with you that night, though, but to talk to you. If it happened, I didn't even know you were drunk. Then I wouldn't have done anything, but at the time, I just wanted you to have a good time. That other guy's the one that totally took advantage of you then.
No, it wasn't me. It was the one-armed man.
Yeah, it wasn't me. I felt you up because I wanted you to have a good time. The best time. He was doing it because, yeah, he's taking advantage. He's a pervert. Sometimes the room temperature IQ guys are fun, you know? He's really out here trying his best. Hope he says, either way, I would like to not be reminded of the experience.
Nice Guy says, I know you don't. That's why I was just asking if I was somebody you would be interested in when it does come time. I'm literally respecting your time. I'm just wondering if I would be somebody to you.
No. 1,000 times no! Stop asking!
Your life is nothing. You serve zero purpose. You should kill yourself now.
OP says, I'll figure out what I want when I get there.
And he says, yeah, I understand. It's some freaking BS. I wish I knew what the hell was going on with him at the time because I wouldn't have let it happen.
Oh, yeah. I totally would have saved you. I did participate a little bit, but not as much as he did. You're both going to hell. OP says, right. Yeah, I'm not interested at all of even thinking about who I would be with in the future.
And he said, thanks. That's all I was wondering because I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to waste my time waiting on you than talking to other people. But honestly, how I said about us, truly how I feel, but I was genuinely saying I was okay with waiting because I don't mind.
What? I don't know if he had a seizure while writing it, but I'm pretty sure it's contagious. Okay? My brain is fucking fried. What was that sentence? Does anything you say have a point ever? God damn it. OP just says, if you can't just be friends, then it's probably for the best if we just stop talking. I'm not here to waste your time.
And he said, I'm not saying you're a waste of time at all. You're definitely not at all. But I don't want to waste my time waiting and then finding out that if the time comes and you're not interested in me, then I wasted my time because I'm genuinely going to respectfully wait because I don't care. And I got the time too. I'm still healing too. You have no idea still what my ex put me through. Yeah, we both got scars, girl. Maybe we sit down and compare our scars sometime.
You want to know how I got these scars? A Latino boy strapped a razor blade on the end of his penis.
It's so fucking funny. You're not a waste of time, but if you don't get with me, then I'll totally be wasting my time. What do you think his IQ is? I was thinking 80 something. Now I'm thinking more like 70. Jesus. What a specimen.
She was also from San Antonio, his ex. Y'all girls crazy, but you at least got standards and at least has a great personality. But that night at the club, I would never take advantage of anyone, regardless if you're drunk or not.
Yeah, despite the fact that that's exactly what you did, sounds like.
I genuinely thought you wanted that. Somebody else thought you wanted me to. That with me too hints to why his horny ass was so jealous. It's ridiculous. I just wish I knew because that's BS.
Again, it's not even sentences. It's just a slurry of words. My brain can't pick out the meaning anymore. I give up. I tap out. I'm too old to care about your bullshit.
And honestly, he should be a better friend and not assume all that shit about you is true. Because he makes it sound like you've been caught sleeping with multiple dudes from the ship or whatever. But At the same time, him being jealous, of course, he's gonna talk about it because he feels jealous, but I don't even think he knows if those accusations from other people are even true. If those people are genuinely saying all kinds of shit about you that's not true, then they're freaking toxic, and like, you don't deserve that.
You know what I deserve? A lobotomy. Just, don't have to worry about this no more. Spend my days smelling flowers and drooling on bumblebees.
Just don't be mad at Am because he just hears all this from other people, but me personally, I'm gonna tell you because I care about you, and that's some messed up stuff.
OP says, okay, then tell me what he's been saying.
And he said everything that I've said, honestly.
Yeah? Does he say it with the syntax of a fucking 5-year-old? And then something else happened because and why and then because, okay? I'm like, what? What did you say?
Also, but he has said before that he's told you about things like that.
OP says, look, honestly, I think it's for the best if we stop talking and hanging out. I'm in constant stress and anger from every conversation I have with you, and I don't think we're compatible at all. Yeah, not just in a relationship, like as humans. I don't want to be around you. Your friends are probably lying to you. It was cool the first few times we hung out, but yeah, I can't keep going like this, or I might say something really mean. I hope you do. I hope you just gut him in front of everybody. The crowds will cheer.
Nice Guy says, wait, what? I don't understand what you're mad about. I was just letting you know what was going on and why you would want to say something mean, though that make no sense. Sorry, I don't understand.
I know you don't.
Maybe I just wasn't that clear, but now you just seem confused, and I didn't want that from you, so I'm sorry, but I definitely am not a liar, and I said what I said.
Opie said, look, are you just friends with me in the hopes that we might get together in the future? Just calling it for what it is. Give me a straight answer on this. He never will.
He says, I said this like 5 times now since last night, but at the same time, I still wanted to be your friend.
And OP says, that's a simple yes or no. I'm looking for straight answers only. And he says, no. And she says, cool. Then I don't mind being friends then.
And he says, I don't know. It seems like you were confused about literally everything I was talking about. It would have been easier to just say that you didn't think it would work. And I thought I was being nice by saying that stuff to you. I wasn't trying to make you upset. I was just trying to get to know you. And honestly, those were a lot of red flags. And I just wanted to make sure you were good.
We just ran a fucking marathon, ladies and gentlemen. That's 15 pages of that. Holy shit. You made it through. Congratulations. I still don't know what the hell I just witnessed. My brain fried completely. OP, patience of a saint. I was really hoping that you were going to say something mean there at the end. Truthfully, I'm just glad it's over. That was a whole lot of talking for nothing at all. Give me a little break. What did you think about it, Gubbins? I'm going to take my 30-second breather or whatever.
Gubbins not word genius, but even Gubbins know when language fall downstairs and break all bones. If your words were arrows, they'd just flop out of bow and cry on the ground. Gubbins suggests learn how to speak like human before attempt courtship ritual, yes? Gubbins.
Well advised. I'm not asking much here. A little bit of sentence structure, just like a point that you have when you send the message. What was the core message of any of this? Aside from I want to ask you out by not asking you out. But actually people were saying, and I thought I was helping you. I think I'm sticking with my estimate of like a 70 IQ range. What's your estimate, Gubbins?
56.
56? It's like, he can't even write his own name at that point, I think. It's terrible. Anyway, that hot mess is all packaged up and ready to ship, so we'll move on to the next one. Very same vibes. This nice guy says, how long are we gonna be friends? Not much longer, trust me. It's not gonna go the way you think it's gonna go, but it's not gonna be much longer. OP says, okay, see you then. And he says, bet, BB. See you. Instagram.
I texted you in Instagram. Don't you see? He says, you're weird, you blocked me. But okay, I don't care. You're not my type anyway. Clear off. Get a life.
You seem really hurt by all that. I want to let you know.
This is actually really good cream if you get really ass hurt. If you're hurting down there, if you're a little offended, you can just rub it on your asshole like that's no problem.
He says, hey babe, how are you today? Hi.
OP says, hey, sorry. I was at lunch with a friend for her birthday. I'm doing pretty well. How are you?
And he says, I'm okay, baby.
And he sends a photo. I hope I can't guess of what. And she says, what are you up to?
And he said, not much, just finished work. And you?
And she said, I'm just chilling, lol. I've been busy all day, so I'm taking some time to unwind.
And he said, cool. You chill now? How tall are you?
She says 5'1", and he says,
ugh, love it.
Yeah, gross. I know why you do. Okay.
There seems to have been a misunderstanding.
He says, I'm 5'6".
Oh, it's because, yeah, it's short girls. Short guys and the short girls, they make the short babies. All babies are short. Whatever.
He says, do you like working out?
And OP says, I don't really have time to work out, but I do a lot of walking. I did like 4 miles today, actually.
Damn. Nicely done, OP. He says, oh, okay, cool. You're ready for tomorrow?
And she says, heck yeah.
And he says, cool. Can we kiss and hug when we meet?
I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
OP says, yeah, I'll hug you, but honestly, I'd rather start as friends first.
And he says, how long are we going to be friends?
Before the friendship has even started, he's already whining about it. Get the fuck out of here.
What if you don't like me in the first date, huh?
OP says, I'll tell you if I don't like you so that you don't waste your time. And he says,
oh,
with a nervous sweat drop emoji. Like, you're already setting yourself up for failure here, son. Like, why don't you have the expectation of success? It's because you know you're a weirdo. Well, why don't you work on your weirdo things? Or at least find somebody that can connect with your weirdo-ness. Anyway, OP says, sorry, I'm a very straightforward person, and if it won't work out, he said, but I like you already, though. She said, I'd rather you spend your time finding the right one.
And he says, I like a straightforward person. I did find the right one. I did right now. I think you're cute.
That's all it takes for him. She's cute. She's willing to talk to me. That's it. OP just says, thank you. And he said,
you can see pics in my bio. You can decide. Also, you know that I'm Arab.
And OP says, well, what are you looking for aside from looks?
A short relationship and casual. And you?
She says, well, I'm looking for long term, so it might not be the best fit anyways. Arab nice guy weirdo says,
it's fit for me. You have to taste me first.
Brother, what's that? What's that, brother?
And then OP sends a very unsettling, uncanny valley baby mask and says, really?
I said, yeah, why not? And we will see if can do long-term relationship.
Oh, yeah. Sounds like a great deal. Maybe I will if we do it. He's never going to. OP says, yeah, I'm really sorry, but I'm not interested in tasting you or anything remotely similar, so let's just call the date off.
He said, thanks for straightforward. I love that. And if you change your mind, let me know and be straightforward. Bet?
Yeah, fucking bet. Whatever. Get out. OP says, yeah, I'll let you know if my feelings change. Just to clarify, please enjoy your completely free Sunday.
And he says, you're awesome. I like your honesty.
Well, then you probably enjoy the bit of honesty where I tell you that you're a coon-brained weirdo and no girl's ever gonna fall for whatever the hell you're selling. You're gross, you're scuzzy, the aura is all around you, and there's nothing that you can do to fight it, honestly. I mean, there's exercises that you can do, but you don't have the willpower for all that. Just continue on making people uncomfortable online until inevitably they decide not to meet you because you give off those kind of, I'm gonna touch you when you don't want it vibes. Yeah. I guess he could have taken the breaking up of the date a little worse, but the fact he just kind of smiled and shrugged it off also gives me kind of just sort of weird sociopath vibes. I don't know. I'm glad you're still alive, OP. That's what I'm gonna say. And we'll move into our next post. Nice Guy says, you could talk to some guy who wants to know your favorite color or sub. Yeah, super interesting conversation there. What number do you like? I don't want to talk about any of that shit. That's surface level. Tell me what makes you tick. Give me something that you're really, really passionate about. My wife likes plants. I like to hear her talk about the plants and the animals and all the plants that she got, you know? But I guess you gotta build up to all that. Favorite color's a good start, maybe sometimes. We'll see how the start actually goes. Nice Guy says, what's your number? I'd love to take you to dinner or something tomorrow night and we can chat about it over FaceTime, heart hands. OP says, hey, I'd love to go to dinner sometime, but I like to get to know someone better before I meet him because I watch a lot of true crime, lol.
Her arms were cut off. Her legs were cut off. Her ears were cut off. Her tongue was cut off.
I think that is why, like, a big reason why people are so scared these days. Like, the shit definitely does happen, but do you understand the statistics per capita? Maybe not. Room temperature IQ. And he says, I'm good. You can talk to some guy who wants to know your favorite color or some shit. If you read about the second half, I mentioned chat about it over FaceTime, whatever. Not really worth wasting my time. Yeah, you're the one who rejected me. Have a nice life. Whatever you want to tell yourself. Like your time's so fucking valuable out here trawling on whatever stupid dating app it is. Why don't you do something to move your life upward, you know? You're so focused on getting your pee-pee wet that you've failed to become an interesting person. So go back to the drawing board. That's where we start. And then, I don't know, I'll check in on you next year if I remember. Probably I forget. Probably stays locked down there in Sector 7 for millennia, but that's the risk we take for reformation, isn't it? Anyway, next post. This nice guy said, you just don't know a nice person. Well, I know you, so that tracks so far. Because he's not nice. He says, it's okay. Thanks, though. I guess you don't mess with me no more. It's cool, though. I just wanted to say hello. Haven't talked to you really in a few days. Hope everything's okay. Take care. And OP says, what? Are you serious? We have to text for you 24/7 for you to know that I'm still your friend. And he says, why do angry? Just seeing how you've been doing, that's all. I didn't mean to get you upset. It's not a big deal. Didn't know you felt that way. I'll just leave you alone if I get you that upset. Sorry about that. Yes, we are dealing with a very insecure individual here. OP says, well, that's your decision. I said I'm still your friend, so I don't know what else you want. Can we just maybe text all the time forever? Not texting someone back within 5 minutes? That's pretty unfriendly.
Why didn't you text me back? My phone's completely broken. You still could have texted me back.
This shit sound crazy.
He says, I don't want anything. It's cool. I won't bother you no more. Take care, Haley. Okay. See you around.
Yeah, okay. Bye. You can leave now. And OP says, I don't really want to have beef with you. Like, why can't we just be cool?
And he said, look, you're the one being weird.
Excuse me, what?
All I do is text to see how you're doing and you get all angry like WTF. But I see how you feel about me and I'm good. Just take care of I'll see you around or something. Okay, nice to meet you. Friends text other friends. You just don't know a nice person, 'cause there's a bunch of words here in blank. but I'm good, okay? I don't need a friend that I piss off if I text him.
A little text every now and then, that's fine. You don't gotta be overly dramatic. We haven't talked in days. I know. Sometimes I go months without talking to my own mother. Deal with it. Opie says, okay, wow. Have it your way. You're not gonna flip this around on me and manipulate me into thinking it's my fault, because it ain't. If you don't like the rate at which I text, then fuck it. I'm gonna put that on a bumper sticker, man. I really don't care about this. I've only known you for a week. Jesus Christ. You're passive-aggressive as fuck for no reason. And she blocked him. Dude, that's so beautiful. That's poetic justice right there. I don't know what else I could ask for, truly. Except for maybe you guys to go over Spotify and look up ReddX and rate the podcast. Or listen to something over there. We're also on iTunes, wherever else podcast services, etc., etc. If you're tuned out just because I said that, you're going to miss this post. This nice guy says, I'm a humble, shy, very friendly guy who's positive. And he says, hey, yay, what's your Discord? I can't wait to get to know you. And OP says, I don't give out my Discord right away. He says, no problem, so what's something about you that not many people know? And she says, well, other than that, I collect digital anime cards. I also collect pretty rocks. I don't know. Lol. What about you? I was gonna talk shit about digital anime cards, but then I was like, are video games that much better? Yes, they are, but also doesn't actually mean anything. He says, I love anime. I watch anime almost daily normally. I practice martial arts daily, do research projects I give myself. I love helping friends with mental health issues. Yeah, that's great. There's a plethora to choose from among anime fans, I'm sure. I used to work as a non-profit unlicensed therapist. Unlicensed therapist. That's the operative word, isn't it? I worked along licensed therapist as that extra friend with psychological knowledge and compassion to be on call for you 24/7. 2 clients, I even worked alongside their primary therapist and got approval. It was so rewarding. That's really weird. Thanks for telling me all that, I guess. Pretty sure all this is bullshit. Ask for the name of the nonprofit. He'll be like, oh, it got shut down. They ran out of money. It's the problem with nonprofits. OP says, damn, that's very admirable. Benefit of the doubt. Nice. He says, thanks. I had to shut it down for mental health reasons, though. I'm not a very happy guy lately, to be honest. Very, very depressed, but I'm positive about it. But it makes me slip and not say the right things sometimes. Okay. All this is throwing up red flags for me. I would be slowly backing away at this point.
No amount of therapy will ever make this moment okay.
You might think that you're an unlicensed mental health professional, but I'm not. I don't want to carry your baggage around. I don't want to deal with your shit. He then asks her, are you on VR chat? Can I chat you there? I'd love a verbal convo. And OP says, yeah, I don't usually give away my VR chat right away. Sorry. And he said, oh, well, aren't you a private girl? That's fine. Well, ever sing? That's my next random question for you. I used to love singing. I even started singing Disney songs like Let It Go at one point for an old friend. And she said, lol, that's funny. What's the question? Were you ever unto singing? Good question. Wow. Really neat. Just blew me out of the water with that one. OP's answer also packed with enthusiasm. She says, honestly, not really. He says, I used to be a private vocal coach for a friend who needed breath control training, and I fell in love with the job. But as a private, unlicensed gent, I never got to many people. My best was a first chair on an orchestra who believed in cross-training to improve her performance. Again, a lie, a very not well-constructed lie at that. This is just the day of room temperature IQ nice guys, isn't it? This is what I've been burdened with today. Okay. When it rains, it pours. OP says, oh, you did a lot, huh? See, the suspension of disbelief is slowly falling away. He says, man, these are all passion projects. Not things I've done my whole life, but passions I've always studied and explored when I meet a friend who shares interest. Never got paid for most of them. Vocal coaching was a freebie thing. How about you? Any random stories and fun facts about yourself? I'd love to hear more about you. And she says, well, to be honest, I'm not used to talking about myself like this, so it's easier for me if you ask me something that you want to know about specifically. And he says, I'm horrible at socializing in general, especially over text. That's why I prefer calls and shit. Honestly, I just suck all around years of being bullied, abandoned, and harassed. It just sucks to be fully honest.
Sucks to be you.
Oh, my brain is melting out my ears.
I think the underlying gist of the message, all that shit that he just said, was I'm a very sad, sad boy. Please give me a phone call so I won't be sad anymore. And also I'll have your phone number so I can call you. Like way too much. Because you make me not sad, but I'm sad all the time. I need you in order to be not sad. You want me to be not sad, don't you? OP says, wow, that's a lot. And I don't know how to respond. Real. He says, don't worry about it. I'm just being honest. I still like talking to you, but if you were hoping for someone confident and manly and wonderful and cool and popular, well, that ain't me. I'm a humble, shy, friendly guy who's very positive. Very positive.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
Where? What? They just bully me all the time, and my life's terrible, but I'm a very positive person. Just because you say it. Whatever. Okay. I also go with the flow a lot as I get to know you, but never hangs in groups larger than 2 to 4 total. Prefers one-on-one chats, even with platonic friends. Just want to be honest, if you want something different, you should block me. I don't want to waste your time. You already have. OP says, I'm sorry if this is rude, but like, why are you unloading on me? It's all he does. Let me tell you about another stupid job that I worked and never got paid for. Come to find out, all that shit was a lie, of course. OP says, I just ask you to ask a specific question because I'm not used to talking about myself. Melting emoji. And he says, it's just the vibes you give off. I could be way off, but I've had so many people lead me on and pretend to be kind just to turn around and be mean later and abandon me or insult me. I'd rather, if you don't like me, than just say it no. Jesus, you're really out here just bracing for impact before anything has happened at all. It's just mysterious. OP says, Lamau, what do you mean vibes I give off? You asked me to tell you about myself, and I said, ask me a question. I'm not used to talking about myself. And you started going off, insulting yourself, and making judgments about me based on other people. And he said, I don't believe in putting best foot forward. I believe in being honest with yourself and just finding out if you click or not, as opposed to getting attached on false pretenses and end up hating each other later when you're already connected. Well, it's been less than 10 minutes, and I think it's safe to say that I hate you. So yes, let's not set up a friendship based on false pretenses. I'm for this. He might be big dumb, but a broken clock's right twice a day, you know? OP says one thing is being honest. A different thing is throwing yourself a pity party when you just met someone. And in the middle of an unrelated topic, at that. Oh, come on, OP. There's always time for pity party. He says, it was a loose, educated guess. Not a therapeutic evaluation, the idea of you wanting me to take charge and not being good at talking about yourself and also not responding much. I quite literally saw this coming. You being one of those people that call depression a pity party. That's exactly what I wanted to figure out. Whether you were okay with me, even if I'm not happy all the time. It's not a pity party as I'm eating tacos with my song and watching TV right now. I'm happy enough currently, but in general, I'm not very macho bravado jock energy. If you want a well-rounded man, that ain't me. I had a lot of loss lately, and I just want us to figure that shit out sooner than later, so nothing personal, but you seem like the type that hate me, so have a great day. Good luck making friends.
Yeah, that's all he was out here for, guys. Just making friends. You have to be okay with me being sad all the time because all I felt is loss and pain. I'm the only one who's ever lost anything.
You'll get no sympathy from me.
You're an idiot, is what you are. A self-absorbed little boy that can't see the world for what it is. Nobody gives a shit. Especially if you're a man, nobody gives a shit. Let me tell you that right now. Oh, you carrying something around? Does it hurt deep inside? Then shove it down further and shut the fuck up. That's how we subsist, isn't it? Until we either implode or explode. But yeah, those are few and far between most of the time. You've had some pretty good insights today, Gubbins. Go ahead and tell the people how you feel about this one.
Oh, sad boy nice guy thinks space rock revolve around him, huh? Like big dumb planet with tiny brain, just spinning in own misery while shouting, "Why no one worship my pathetic orbit?" Gubbins not feel bad for you. Gubbins just wish you go sit in cave and sulk quieter. Gubbins.
Damn, good dunk. Yeah, why you gotta cry so loud? Nobody gives a shit. Honestly, truly, man to man, nobody cares. Nobody cares. Especially if that's all you do. Like, you know, if you're a relatively happy guy and then sometimes you're sad, people are like, holy shit, he's sad. Something must be vastly different. You know? If you're sad all the time, especially, nobody cares. Like I said, now the episode's over, so nobody cares. Unless they're Patreon patrons or YouTube members. Then they probably care a lot. We got special content for you guys coming out tomorrow. Old web exploration of GeoCities and Angel Fire and stuff like that. I think it'll be pretty fun. So sign up as a channel contributor if you haven't yet. We also got merch over on Fourth Wall if you'd like that. If not, can't help you. Ain't got shit else to offer. Except the podcast. I could have the podcast again, but I'm not going to. I just want to let you know, friends, that you are loved, you are worthy, you definitely deserve it. And I shall see you in the next one. So until then, bye-bye.